Assalamualaikum and hi Madam Liana. So my name is Ilya Ilani and right now I'm going to explain in detail about arithmetic sequence. So apparently what is sequence? The first thing first is what is sequence? So basically a sequence is a set of numbers in particular order with each number in the sequence being derived from a particular rule. For arithmetic sequence, it is sequence in which the difference between any term and preceding term is the same throughout. And this common difference can be obtained by subtracting any term from the term which immediately follows it. Let's talk about the formula. So the formula of n term is Tn equals to n plus with n minus 1 times with d. And then meanwhile sum of first term is, the formula is Sn equals to n divided by 2 and in the bracket 2a plus with n minus 1 times with d. And then okay, so what is Dn? Dn is stands for n term, and Sn is the first n term, sum of the first n term. And then A, what is A? A is for the first term. Okay, so the next one is n. N for number of terms. And then D is common difference. And then the last one is L. L is for last term. Okay, so this is the formula that we have in the arithmetic sequence, and that is all for me. And now we proceed to the Itisham parts. Thank you, Madam.
Assalamualaikum, Madam. And now I'm going to explain about the past year question about arithmetic sequence. So based on the question, in 1960, the amount of houses were built is 2,400, whereas in 1990, the amount of houses were built is 600. So to get common difference, 600 minus 2,400, and then the answer will be divided by 30. So the common difference is negative 60. Okay, next is how to find the value of A. So the gap between 1960 and 1951 is 9 years. So 9 years I will be multiplied by negative 60, which is common difference, and I get negative 540. So to get the value of A, 2,400 minus negative 540. So I get 2,940. So this amount is A. Okay, next question is how many houses that were built in 1975. So the first thing that I do is I find the gap between 1951 and 1975. So the gap is 25 years. So the calculation would be T25, and I use the formula of arithmetic sequence. And then the amount of houses that were built in 1975 is 1,500. For the last question, the question said the number of houses in 40 years. So by using the arithmetic sequence Sn formula, n divided by 2 multiplied by 2a plus n minus 1 times d. So the total houses that were built in 40 years is 70,800. So that's all from me. Thank you.
Assalamualaikum and hi, my name is Alisha Azra bin Mazhar, and as for my presentation, I will explain more about the geometry sequence, and I hope you will understand more about it. Now let's talk about the geometric sequence, where actually the geometric sequence and arithmetic difference are just a little bit different. So in an arithmetic sequence, let's say we have 5, 8, 11 and 14, and this is the common difference of 3, where 5 plus 3 is 8, 8 plus 3 is 11, 11 plus 3 is 14. So in geometric sequence, it also have something like common difference, but it was called common ratio, where the alphabet here is R, and to find this common ratio, you need to divide the second term by the first term, or take the third term divide by second term. So for example, they give you 4, 8, 16, 32 and so on. So we take the 8 divide 4 equal to 2. So 2 is the common difference. Or you can take the 16 divide by 8, also 2. So 2 is the common ratio. So this is how you get the common ratio. And next, using the same sequence of number, which 4, 8, 16 and 32, we need to identify the first term, which we could see is 4 here. And as for the common difference we calculate just now is 2. And here is the equation. It's the first term times the common ratio raised to the n minus 1 power. So all you need to do is just replace the a and r, so it will look like this. 4, 2. So it will look like this. Next is so this is the general equation, and now let's try it out. Let's find the fourth term, for example. So we need to replace the n with 4, so it will become like this. This is the formula, and we replace it, and with 4, a with 4, which is a is the first term, and r, the common ratio is 2. So after we calculate it, we got the fourth term is 32. We can see here, either you want to know the answer is correct or not, is this is the first term, the second term, the third term and the fourth term. So the fourth term here is 32, and the same with here, 32. So this is how you find the each term. So now how can we find the sum of the sequence? So we use the same sequence number, which is 4, 8, 16 and 32. So we need to find the sum of the first 4 term, for example. So first of all, this is the formula, which is s sub n is equal to the first term times 1 minus r raised to the n divided by 1 minus r. So that is when the r is smaller than 1, and if the r is bigger than 1, just exchange the r here and 1 here, so that the bigger value minus smaller value. So now let's try an example where we need to find sum of the first 4 terms. So as we already know based on the just now example, the first term is 4, the common difference is 2, and the n is 4, because we need to find the first 4 term. So the n here is 4, and just replace by the formula, just put in the formula. So we got s4 equal to 4, 2 power of 4 minus 1 divide 2 minus 1. So calculate the in the bracket first, we got the 15. So 4 minus 15 equal to 60. So it just seems like we add all of the number, like 4 plus 8 plus 16 plus 32, we will get 60. But this is more simple way to calculate, and they have their own calculation formula, so better use the formula. So that's all for my explanation. Thank you.
Hi, Assalamualaikum, and a very good day to Madam Liana. So my name is Faris bin Azlin, and for my part of the presentation is actually I will be doing an example question where I solve the question. So this question is actually a question that I've taken from the past year's exam. So for my part is actually the question on the geometric progression. So without further ado, I will be moving over to my right side because over here there will be the questions and also the answers for the question. So without further ado, let's jump right into the question. So let's proceed with the question. So the question is, once a week Mrs. Baker makes sugar cookies. The first week she makes the recipe, she uses 2 full cups of sugar. Each week after that, she reduces the amount of sugar by 1/5. So the question, they have 3 sub questions. So the first one is how much sugar does she use for the cookies on the 5th week, and how much sugar does she use for cookies on the 2nd month, and third is if Mrs. Baker baked cookies every week for 3 months, how much sugar would she use? So the first question ni actually dia nak 5th week. So maknanya dia nak suruh kita cari T5. And for the second question, dia kata how much does she use on the 2nd month. So how much sugar does she use for cookies on the 2nd month ni, maknanya bulan yang kedua tu dah start berapa dah dia guna. So kalau 2nd month, it is actually T8. And lastly is if Mrs. Baker bake cookies every week for 3 months, how much sugar would she use? So dia nak tahu the total amount of cookies sugar yang dia use tu with dalam masa 3 months, which is 3, kalau 3 months is 4 weeks. 1 month 4 week times 3 it equals to 12. So S12. So first things first, kita kenalah cari dulu dia punya A and R. Macam R we can't find it. So A is actually A equal to 2 and T1 is also equals to 2. So kita kena cari dulu T2 and T3 so that kita boleh cari dia punya R. So for T2, T2 is equal to 2 minus 1 over 2 minus dalam bracket 1 over 5 times 2 tutup bracket, and jawapan for T2 is actually 1.6. And for T3 pula 1.6 minus 8 over 5. And then the answer would be 1.28. So the sequence geometric kat sini adalah 2, 1.6, 1.28. So kalau kita nak cari R, is the formula of T2 over T1 or T3 over T2, because it's the same thing. So for the R is 1.6 divided by 2 equal to 0.8. So kita nak confirmkan benda tu, we just use T3 over T2, which is 1.28 over 1.6. So the R is also the same, which is 0.8. So now kita dah ada A, kita dah ada R, so we can easily substitute all of these variables in the formula. So as for T5, the first question, T5 is equal to AR n minus 1, power of n minus 1. So 2 bracket 0.8, 5 tutup bracket in the power of 5 minus 1. So the answer is 0.81.92. So we can tell that she uses only 0.82 cups lah. As for B, on the T8, which is the 2nd month, she start using, which is the same thing, T, also T, 2 bracket 0.8 the power of 7, because 8 minus 1. So for that time, the amount of sugar that she used is actually 0.4194, or better known as 0.42 cups. And lastly, the last question is actually S12, in which the formula is a bit different. Macam this one, dia punya formula, dia must regard the what they call formula of whether the R is over 1 or below 1. Is it bigger than 1 or smaller than 1? So in this case, it is smaller than 1. So the formula used is A bracket 1 minus R power of n over 1 minus R tutup bracket. So we substitute all the variables in which dia akan jadi equal to 2 bracket 1 minus 0.812 power of 12 divided by 1 minus 0.8 tutup bracket. And then kita akan dapat 2 times 4.6564, in which the total amount of sugar used after 3 months is actually 9.3128 or 9.31 cups. So basically that is the solution for this question. I really do hope that our group's answer for this question is correct and might help you guys when it comes to answering your final exam, which is in a few more weeks. Thank you. That is all from me, Faris bin Azlin. Thank you. We'll see you again. Bye.